Easy Maintenance web application includes a preferences section that allows you to choose, among many other things, your preferred currency, the format in which dates are displayed, and the amount of digits after the decimal point to be displayed for certain kinds of data items. The preference features allows the user to set the operation of the program in many areas to suit their needs. First, locate the menu on the left side navigation bar that says Subscription, and click the small arrow on the right side of the bar. Clicking on the arrow will make two options appear below the bar. Click on Preferences. You then will be taken to the Preferences screen. At this screen, you can see all of the different settings available to you to adjust the operation of EZM Web to suit your needs. We'll discuss each of these settings one by one. The first setting we see is address and phone format, for which there are two options, USA and International. If your company is based in the United States, simply leave USA selected. Selecting International allows users to enter much longer phone numbers and addresses with letters in the zip code. To select the option you desire, mark the circle next to the desired option by clicking in it. The next setting is date format. This setting affects the display of dates throughout the application. Depending on the option you select, dates will be displayed with the year followed by the month, then the date, with the month followed by the day, then the year, or with the day followed by the month, then the year. Again, to select the option you desire, mark the circle next to the desired option by clicking in it. The Records Grids setting lets you specify how many items per page will show on the various lists throughout the EZM Web application, such as lists of equipment, inventory items, scheduled maintenance, and so on. For example, if you set Records Grids to 15, a maximum of 15 items will be displayed per page. If you would like to view the next 15 items, you will have to select the next page, and for the next 15 items, the page after that, and so on. Next, we see the setting for inventory tracking. Selecting None means EZM Web will not track any inventory use. Selecting Price List Only means EZM Web will track and record inventory prices but not inventory use. Selecting Full means Easy Maintenance Web will track and record all inventory prices and transactions, including when a piece of inventory is used in a work order. Next is the setting for decimal places for inventory cost and price. This setting allows you to specify how many decimal places the program will keep track of in the price for inventory items. To change this setting, click on the box containing the value and type in the desired value. Next, we see the setting for decimal places for quantity. This allows you to specify how many decimal places the program will keep track of in the quantity for inventory items. For example, if you want EZM Web to track inventory quantities to the nearest tenth, you would put a 1 in this box. The program would then display and store quantities for inventory items such as 1.2 quarts of oil or 15.0 bearings. Next is the setting for decimal places for hours of equipment usage. This setting allows you to specify how many decimal places the program will keep track of for hours of equipment use. For example, if you want EZM Web to keep track of hours of equipment usage to the nearest thousandth, you would put a 3 in this box. And we also have a setting for decimal places for hours of vehicle usage. Setting decimal places for hours of vehicle usage is particularly helpful if you're using Easy Maintenance to track, for example, airplane maintenance. This setting works similarly to the decimal places for equipment hours usage, but it applies to vehicle usage instead of equipment usage. Now we come to the currency setting. This setting allows you to specify what currency you would like all the monetary amounts to be displayed in throughout Easy Maintenance Web. To select your desired currency, click on the arrow on the right-hand side of the box displaying the currently selected currency to display a small menu showing the available currencies. Then click on the desired currency. Choosing a currency name alone will not accomplish the desired currency conversion. If you enter a value into the conversion rate box, all of the monetary values you have stored in the program, such as those for inventory item costs, will be converted to the new currency using the value you entered into the conversion rate box. For example, If you want to change the currency in which you are working to British pounds and the current exchange rate is 0.574146 pounds for each dollar, you would select GBP from the currency selection box and enter the value 0.574146 in the conversion rate box like this. This brings up an important point. All currency conversion rates you will enter here are relative to $1 US. This means that if later you decide to switch to be working with euros after working with the British pounds, you would not enter a conversion rate for euros to British pounds. Instead, you would enter how many euros are worth $1 US. The next setting we encounter on the Preferences screen is the Alert Status setting. EasyMWeb by default will automatically notify you if the scheduled maintenance for a piece of equipment or a vehicle has gone past due. Select the Off option if you'd like to disable this feature of EasyMWeb. Next is the Notification setting. EasyMWeb enables a vendor or service provider to invoice you for work which they have completed for you. If you would like to be notified via email when a service provider or vendor has created an invoice for you, choose the On option for the notification setting. If you would not like to be notified upon the creation of an invoice by a service provider or vendor, choose Off instead. Next we have the Invoicing by My Users option. If your company does maintenance work for outside customers and you invoice them for the work you do, you have the option to set EasyMWeb to prompt your employees to create an invoice every time a work order is completed. Selecting On will notify you and your employees to generate an invoice. Selecting Off will disable these notifications. Then we have the Invoicing by Service Provider setting. When a service provider or vendor closes a work order, EasyMWeb can automatically notify the service provider to generate an invoice. Selecting On will notify the service provider to generate an invoice each time they close a work order. Selecting Off will not prompt the service provider to create such an invoice. Finally, we come to the Assigned To setting. This affects the list of users to select from when assigning a work order. For example, you may want to assign all your maintenance to vendors or service providers and not have members of your company displayed on the list of users to select from to assign work orders to, because you will never be assigning maintenance work orders to them. In this instance, you would select Only Service Providers. Or you may select Only Users if you only want members of your company to appear on the list of users to whom you can assign work orders. Once you have made all of the adjustments you wish to the settings in the Preferences section, click on the Save button to submit and save those changes.